Welcome to BGCAA Email Etiquette, Best Practices, and Policy Training, a guide to proper email communication. I'm your training hostess, Rachel Dow, Chief Human Resources Officer. Email has become an essential communication method of the modern workforce, so it's crucial to understand the basics of email etiquette and best practices. Learning objectives. In this training, we'll cover the following topics to help refine your emailing abilities: email etiquette and best practices, employee handbook policy regarding email signature branding, and out-of-office messaging. We have a lot of information to cover, so let's get started right away. Professionalism. Professionalism is key. If you wouldn't say it to somebody's face, then don't say it in an email. Tone. Email tone can be quite tricky, and it's the main cause of misunderstandings. Nuances, subtleties, sarcasm, and jokes may be lost in translation, and recipients may interpret messages differently. Consider how email will be read by and interpreted by your audience before sending. How a message is perceived can be completely opposite from what the sender envisioned. You are encouraged to reread email messages before hitting the send button. Use spell check. There's nothing more distracting from a powerful message than spelling errors. A simple and quick click will check all of your spelling and save you some spelling embarrassments. Avoid all caps. Caps equals shouting in the world of writing. If something is important, it may be best to bold or italicize it. If it's very important and the point you are making needs to be stressed, go ahead and use the caps, but use them sparingly. Confirm receipt. If you receive an email in the morning that you're unable to address timely, confirming receipt with the sender will let them know that their email is going to be addressed soon. One subject per email. When you have questions around multiple tasks, it's a best practice to have one subject per email. It will help keep the topics and responses around a singular project easier to find when you're searching for it within your inbox. It will also help ensure the recipient stays focused on all of your questions, and you're more likely to have all of your questions answered. Positivity. Maintaining a positive attitude can go a long way. An overly negative, complaining, and condescending message often reflect poorly on the sender. The subject of your email may not always be positive, but showing your appreciation for the things that are going well can be positively impactful. Don't respond when upset. Make a conscious effort to be polite and diplomatic, no matter how angry, disappointed, or offended you may be. If you need to, take a cool-down break before responding. You should always remember that an email you write could become available for all to read. Politeness. Being kind can have a major impact on the organization and relationships at work. If you are a manager providing task instructions, you may come across as impersonal or rude if you fail to include some pleasantries. It doesn't take much additional effort to be polite and say please and thank you. Control your urge to reply to all. Reply to all is a bad habit to get into. Ask yourself, is this message relevant to every single recipient? If no, don't waste the time of others by sending an unnecessary email. Sending a huge attachment? Hold it! It could be very frustrating to have email bogged down while it's struggling to download an oversized attachment. If you must share a large attachment, explore other options first. Don't be lazy. Clicking forward with no explanation can lead to confusion. The best practice is if you're forwarding something, include the reason you are sending it. Consider using other forms of communication. Many subjects are better communicated with a phone call or face-to-face conversation. Subjects that are sensitive or negative in nature, or that require a lengthy discussion or brainstorming, are better handled verbally. Let's take a look at BGCAA's Employee Handbook policy regarding information technology resources. The organization's email and other information technology resources are the property of the organization and are to be used only to conduct organizational business. Personal use. Occasional personal use of the organization's information technology resources is permitted, provided such use is incidental. Remember, it's not private. Information involving BGCAA's IT resources is not private and is subject to being accessed. Common sense. Employees are expected to use common sense and judgment when using BGCAA's information technology resources. Email signature branding standards. All employees are to maintain our branding standards with a consistent email signature. This includes using your full name bolded, position title, full organizational name hyperlinked to our homepage, club name for those in a club, mailing address, phone number. Administrative staff should use their desk phone with extension, and a cell phone number is optional after your desk phone. Club staff should put their club phone number. Hyperlinks to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Hyperlinked Donate Today text. Then our BGCAA black and white logo. Email signature example. This is an example of a proper email signature. Email signature setup. Instructions for how to set up your email signature are included here. This should work for most versions of Microsoft Outlook. However, because we may be on different versions of Outlook, we will not go step by step in this training. Additional support can be found on the Microsoft website. Out-of-office responses. If you are out of the office, you should place an out-of-office automatic response to incoming emails. The automatic response should specify the dates that you will be out of the office, the full name and email of the person who can be contacted for assistance in your absence, and the date that you will return. An example is on the screen. Out-of-office response setup. Instructions for how to set up an out-of-office response are included here. Once again, because we may each be using different Microsoft versions, we will not go step by step in this training. Additional instructions can be found on the Microsoft website. This concludes our training. If you find that you have questions, please contact me, Rachel Dow, Chief Human Resources Officer. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.